Hello there, everyone. Ashnflash here, and welcome on into my spoiler-filled review of Moon Knight. I feel like it's been quite a while since we've done one of these for a Marvel property. I think the last time was back in 2021, which feels like so long ago, with Hawkeye for the TV series, and then also No Way Home. So yeah, it's been a bit, and it's a double whammy again, just like that. We're also gonna have one for Doctor Strange. So, anyways, this is a really interesting show. I think that just jumping into things before pre-spoilers, just sort of talking about this, I love the fact that they took a character and they took such a big risk on this for a TV show, because if you look at all the shows we've gotten so far, they've all been pre-established characters in the MCU. So for them to go and do this and do a character that is so beloved from the comics, bring them on into the MCU, but also have it feel like a standalone story where really anyone can jump in and watch this. I think they did a great job of that, honestly. While it is confusing at times for just the average watcher, I guess, there's a lot still to be, enjoyed in this. There's a lot of surprises, especially if you don't know anything about the comics and the character of Moon Knight and Mark Spector and all that. I think it's really cool. So let's go episode by episode here, spoiler-wise. So episode 1, the goldfish problem. I thought I really enjoyed that episode. Like, I think that's one of my favorites, probably honestly my third favorite episode of the whole series. I just really liked everything that they did, like the whole setup of him sort of realizing, like, where's all my time going and everything. I really enjoyed that. What else? Just, yeah, again, the whole setup, the suit reveal, of course, that we did see leak a really long time ago, but nonetheless, it still looked really awesome to see that night. I really enjoyed even just, again, flashing back and forth, and is he dreaming, is he not, like all that stuff. I really enjoyed that, and I prefer Steven over Mark, but anyways, that's pretty much the first episode, just him sort of coming to the realization of, like, where's all my time going. Episode 2, Summon the Suit. I think that was fun, like the introduction of Layla, which was actually a brand new character. That's not someone from the comics. They introduced her for the show, and we'll touch on that in the final episode. But I enjoyed her. Like, I think she was a lot of fun. Also, kind of showed that he had a bit of a heart, I guess, and that Mark was trying to protect her, and maybe there's some stuff going on in the background there. But yeah, I really enjoyed her, and just her confusion and the sort of twist of, oh, we're married, and Steven sort of growing a crush on her, I thought was really cute, and how they had a lot in common, and that his interests were her interests, and I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I thought that was a fun episode, and the introduction of Mr. Knight. I really enjoyed Mr. Knight, and especially I think that character continued to grow on me as the series went on. Episode 3, the friendly type. This is I'm trying to think of what happened in this episode here. I believe that at the end, everything, Khonshu was imprisoned, but I really love the transitions between Mark and Steven. I think that Oscar Isaac did a phenomenal job here. And the transitions that he was doing between the two, especially in that episode, you really feel it, like just the change and shift in mannerisms. I thought was really fun, and doing the star wavy thing, I thought was pretty cool with Khonshu, and see, Mr. Knight's not totally useless there. Episode 4, the Tomb. Let's see. It was fun. Very Indiana Jones-esque. Definitely that episode. I definitely felt the vibes there of all that. The puzzle solving, the map, the tracking and all that, finding the tomb and going on in, and just even the more of the supernaturalness of it with, I guess that mummy there has been there the whole time. Good thing it didn't get loose. But yeah, I thought that was a very fun episode, and the ending, I think, was very surprising as well, and it kind of left people on a cliffhanger of whether or not this is all real, or was it all in his head, which is obviously a trope that's been done a lot of times, but it's cool to see here in the MCU, and I think that question is still sort of maybe asked at the end of the series, what's real and what's not. As well as just major Legion vibes, if you've seen that show, another Marvel show, also takes place in an asylum. And speaking of asylum, episode 5 here, I really thought that was a very good episode as well. I think that I'm kind of forgetting things, especially between 2 and 3. I feel like there's just a bit of a lull between some of the parts in the episodes, and it was like the last 10 minutes were like, oh, like that was really good. Like last 10-15 minutes, like it really took off. However, this episode, it was really good. It had a lot of heart as well, just sort of setting up them bonding as well as just revealing the whole past of what's up with Mark and his childhood and what happened to his brother. But then also just the origin of Steven I thought was really smart. But again, I really enjoyed their relationship shift from, episode 2, from him being so angry at him and like punching out the glass to, they're hugging, they're happy to see each other. I thought was really cute. And the whole hippo lady, like it was just cool. It kind of reignited my love and interest for Egyptology and like the Egyptian gods and all that, because I really haven't thought about that too much for a long time. I think I studied it in like grade 5. I feel like there was a whole thing there with learning different ancient cultures and things. So I remember really enjoying learning about that and everything. So that was cool to see a lot of the things that I had heard, especially with the balancing of the scales and all that. I quite enjoyed. Episode 6 here, the finale. There's no name as of yet on Disney Plus, but it's tough. I think that looking back at most of the Marvel shows, I haven't been the happiest, I think, with the finales of them. I think that this does a good job in a lot of parts. In a lot of ways, it also just kind of creates a lot of different problems for me, continuity-wise. It just raises, like, a ton of questions I have about this series as a whole, of the rules of everything, what's going on here. I don't know where to begin with this. I guess we'll just start with Layla. And cool, like, again, brand new character, set her up. They had her little moment of, are you Egyptian? Are you an Egyptian superhero? I thought that was really cool. And her suit looked really cool as well. Although the role of Falcon has already been filled. But I thought that was still really awesome to see that moment. And to see her become an avatar there, I thought was fun. And to see them fighting alongside, like, that was the best action bit in this entire series. I think it was really great. Even just how they were transitioning between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, I thought was really, really fun. I really enjoyed, like, the billy clubs being used, and of course the moonerangs, or whatever they're called, the grapple gun there as well. For a minute he grappled. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, all the tech there, that was, a lot of people compare him to Batman, and especially there, I was getting that vibe. But I liked how Steven did the little, he fixed his suit before fighting. Again, that fight was really solid. Although the fight that was going on in the background, not so much, between Khonshu and Amit. Like, I understood how she became big. They specifically showed that. I asked this question on Twitter, and people have said that it's because it changed to nighttime and he grew big. But they probably should have showed that, since they took the time to show that with Amit. But also, I'm just like, if it is powered from, like, the stars and the moon and nighttime, then he should be so much stronger than her, since she maybe absorbed 50 souls, I'd say. It wasn't too many so far. Anyways, he could have just, like, been so much bigger and just absolutely demolished her, I think. But it was cool to see her. Like, her design was neat. It was also confusing how people were able to see her. Like, all of Arthur Harrow's followers could see her, and yeah, it's just very selective of, hey, we could see the gods now, and then other times it's like, is he here? Do you see him? Also, looking back just at some of the things like that, it's interesting that they're able to heal their avatars when needed, but when, like, the gods are fighting against Amit, they lose very quickly, and which is also strange because they were able to stop her before. So what's the difference here if they're all there together? Was, I guess, just Khonshu wasn't present. Maybe they've also imprisoned other gods since they've imprisoned Amit. The other thing there was, show us that fight. Like, a lot. I think that that's some people's complaint with this series, and I get it. Of like, oh, we didn't get to see how this was resolved. He just sort of blacked out, and that's sort of an issue I have with this series too. If he was pinned down, about to die from the same thing that all the other gods died to, from the power of the cane, then like how did Jake do that? And like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of need to see this. Also, Layla was there, so how did she not see that? I don't know. I feel like I have all these questions in the finale here, and I don't really have answers. Or if there are answers, you're really having to reach and explain things. But yeah, going back to the gods fight, like that would have been really neat to see, just all the different gods using their powers. And I don't know if it was maybe just a time constraint of we need to get the show out. It the finale felt a little bit rushed in my opinion. But going into the end there, I'm very curious on what's happening with Jake. Like, if the whole asylum thing, like the asylum part was a part of their soul, right? Like them trying to go to the afterlife, but then it maybe also a construct of Khonshu? Because was it like the prison? I don't know. Like, was it something to do with that? Because like, what was that end scene if they were already back to life? Like, they just dreaming that? Was that maybe what they dream when Jake's in control? Also, does Jake think that he has a life? Like, what's up with that? Like, does he also have an apartment somewhere? Or I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of confusing there, adding that also he was still locked in the subconscious or whatever, in the sarcophagus. So how did he get free if that's the case? I don't know. I feel like over time I'm probably going to think of more questions that I'll have, but overall I enjoyed this for a character I knew very little about. I thought that they did a phenomenal job, and just adding him into the MCU, and I compare that to a lot of the other Marvel shows that they've tried to do on their own, especially looking at the Netflix shows and how some of them just sort of fell apart as they went on. And I hope that this isn't the case here. Like, this is a brand new character. They took a big risk here. Of course, we're going to see that continuing on with like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and all these characters that most people don't know about. So I'm very excited about that. I think that this was a very good step in the right direction. Lego talk. What's Lego doing? What are they doing? They're missing out on all these new shows here, and I'm just so sad because I know that a Moon Knight figure in any set right now would just be the greatest thing. And I look back to Star Wars and how they mishandled The Mandalorian when it first came out, but then they fixed that. And you'd think that they would have that ready to go for the Marvel shows here, especially now we're going into year two or it's year two for sure, of it all. So I'm just like, come on, where's our set? Where's our figures? This is a new character that needs all the marketing that it can get. Like, just getting more people engaged with that through Lego is just, it's a no-brainer. Like, it just has to be happening, whether like it, don't save it for a series 2. Like, yeah, it'd be cool, we can get one with like side leg printing and really detailed arms, but I still wouldn't mind just a basic one or even a comic book one. Just throw him in a set and it will sell, because people are on this Moon Knight high right now, and there's nothing for them to express that with Lego. The figure you see on screen is actually from Render Minifig. You could see it linked down below. It's the same one I used in the thumbnail. I just thought that he did a phenomenal job of like creating like this Doctor Strange sort of cape molded into this hood. And I think that it's just absolutely phenomenal. Anyways, there's a ton of different sets from this show specifically. Like, you could have giant brick built versions of Amit or even Khonshu. Like, imagine the Harry Potter and Hermione style there. That might be the worst idea here of all the sets that I have in my mind. But I think that even just mechs, I've said this before, that Moon Knight just works so well, I think, as a mech for January. I really hope that he is one of the I'm assuming it'll be 3 again like we've been getting. And then even just looking at like a set that I think would work really well here is the ship in the afterlife. I think that would be really cool to get. I'm not quite sure how you would do the hippo, but I think that it looking at the goat boat. Like I know that having two ships on the shelf at the same time from the same theme might not make too much sense because they're maybe sort of similar, size wise and everything. But I think that would be really fun. I'd love to see someone transform that into the ship from Moon Knight. I think that would be really great. And it wouldn't have to necessarily make sense. Like, throw Arthur in there and throw Layla in there. I think that'd be really great. Anyways, everyone, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which was your favorite episode? Which was your favorite character? Do you like Mark? Do you like Steven? Maybe your favorite's Jake already. And what did you think of it? Maybe let me know if you have any answers to my questions, and what Lego sets would you like to see them do as well. Overall, excited for the whatever is next for Mark Spector and Steven, and now Jake as well. If you want to, you could check out a playlist that I have here talking about all the MCU things that we've looked at on the channel. Also, we will be doing one for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.